Hey everyone, and welcome to Against the Fence. My name's Sai. On the left over here is my man Linus. We're here, of course, with the full breakdown of UFC 264. It's going to be super exciting. Now, you've probably heard of ATF before. We've done the watch-alongs every single Saturday night for the main events, all events. But today we're here with the People's Picks, which you probably haven't heard of before. Now, it's a little bit different to what you would have known in terms of ATF. But when it comes down to picking fighters, you know, a lot of fighting shows and pick shows will tell you what to think. This is all about teaching you how to think. So we're going to look at the start of the card from the start to the top with Sean O'Malley all the way up to Poirier McGregor themselves. And Linus is here just to help us break it all down. You know, we're going to look at some of the best parts of each of the fighters, who's got the advantages in each fight. And we also have some clips of other fighters and other fans, just as you guys, joining in as well and pitching in some of their comments too. So we'll play that as we go through it all. But Linus, man, how you getting on, man? How are things?
Yeah, very well. Can't complain, man. It's been a hard week, man. It's been a very hard week. So I'm really quite spent, to be honest. I'm taking Friday off, chilling out on my PlayStation. Really,
Yes.
I'm actually gonna get some takeaway soon. But yeah, I'm all good.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, do you know what? You just mentioned food, and I am Marvin. You know, I forget to eat sometimes. Sometimes I just forget to eat. But look, it's Friday and the weekend's here, so yeah, man, happy to clock off. Can't wait to clock off. I'm excited for 264 actually around the corner.
Yeah, me too. Me too a lot. Yeah, I'm actually very excited. You know, really good card in a minute, all the way from the top, Dustin Poirier, McGregor, all the way down to O'Malley.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't know about you guys. One of my favorite fighters in the UFC right now is Stephen Thompson.
Oh,
And
yeah.
one of my favorite fighters. Love his style. I think really nice guy as well. Really good person.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I think his style's just unreal. I really like his style. If I got into MMA, he's somebody I would try and emulate.
Yeah.
And I really it's good to see. It's good to see him fighting.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
good to see him.
No,
in action
I
tonight.
love that. He's actually a really good fighter, and I've seen him in a couple of fights. He's so kick orientated, and he's got this very unique style about him. But on that, you know, you're a fighter yourself. You know, there's a lot of people on the who watch ATF don't know who you are, but you're a professional boxer yourself, right?
Yeah. I'm professional. You sounded like you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, of course I know.
Yeah,
Of
I'm a
course I know. I mean,
professional
I follow you on
boxer.
Instagram and all that. Of course I know.
Yeah, current English middleweight champion, ranked 8 in the country at the minute at middleweight. And yeah, 16 fights undefeated.
Man.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say.
No, that's
Follow
it.
me on all my
But that's
socials.
what we love here at ATF.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about getting that fight opinion. So I'm excited to break down these cards with you because you're someone who knows what it's like to take a punch to the face, right? So it's easier, and I'd love to get your perspective when it comes to looking at each fight as we break it down fight by fight, and looking at what each fighter needs to be doing in order to get the win here, in order to sort of secure that W. So yeah, look, it's just great we can get your perspective on the channel. It's awesome. But
Oh, wicked. Well, thank you for having me
that's
on.
right, man. Yeah, excited to get started. Shall we have a quick look at the first fight on the card? So look, what we've got here. We've got Sean O'Malley, and he's up against this Chris Monteiro guy. So do you hear the story about this? Sean O'Malley versus Chris. Did you know about his previous opponent falling out and Chris now taking this fight on just like 2 weeks' notice?
No, I don't actually. Just for context, I actually haven't. I haven't really sat down and actually looked at this card properly. So a lot of the things that I don't even know what's going on with McGregor and Poirier. They've been going back and forth.
Yeah.
I've seen a few clips here and there,
Yeah.
but I haven't really sat down and seen it. So everything that you say about this card and what's been going on with individual people is all going to be news to me. So
Don't worry.
yeah, no, I haven't heard anything. But yeah, this guy, he looks, 28-year-old.
Yep.
Same, just a little bit shorter than O'Malley,
Yeah.
135 pounder, and giving O'Malley the reach advantage by about 4 inches.
Yeah.
So he's not the worst record in the world. 9 wins, 4 losses in the UFC. So it's not MMA record that is.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
No, it's all right. I mean, this guy this is going to be his debut, right? So with Monteiro, he's taking this fight on 2 weeks' notice, and look, this guy's a nobody. He absolutely is. But this could be the best thing for him, or it could be the worst thing for him. Depends how quickly Sean O'Malley knocks him out. But basically, this guy's his first sort of appearance here in the UFC. I had to look for really long and hard through like the deep archives of YouTube to get any sort of tape in this guy. But But otherwise, you know, he's had some impressive knockouts himself. But yeah, it's anyone who knows Sean O'Malley just knows this is just pretty much a gimme for him. But look, we got a quick clip from another fan and fighter that we both know, of course, Duncan, who does give his 50 cent pence on this particular fight. I'll just go play that clip now. Let's see what he says. Who are you excited to see?
I was edging straight away towards Gilbert Burns. I thought that was going to be a very good fight, him and Thompson. And I saw Sean O'Malley was on it, and I thought I really enjoy watching him fight. I don't buy into the whole 13-0 sort of thing. Whether you get injured or not, you've lost, man. So the whole 13-0 thing's a bit ridiculous. But I see he's fighting some guy. I had a quick look on his record. He's like 9-4. He's first fight in the UFC. I don't know, one guy he's fought. So I was really excited to see Sean O'Malley, but he's fighting some guy that he's going to put away in round one. So it would have been Sean O'Malley if he had tough competition.
Yeah.
But it's got to be Gilbert Burns. I'd say Gilbert Burns is probably the one.
Yeah.
I think he was on a great streak. He took a horrible loss against Usman. Horrible in the way that he dropped him in round one. He looked fantastic in round one. And then Usman just came through and he literally broke him to pieces. He was on the floor crying after that fight. He broke him, man. So hopefully he bounces back, beats Wonderboy.
Yeah.
I don't know if he beats Usman in a possible rematch, but I would like to see another one.
So you're excited to see Sean O'Malley at the front end of the card, but also excited to see the Gilbert Burns, Wonderboy Thompson fight.
Sean O'Malley, I think if he wants to make a legitimate run at this title, he can't fight 9-4 guys coming into the UFC for his first fight. Do you know? Yeah. So hopefully he does this one. He'll smoke this guy. If this goes past round one with Sean O'Malley, I'll be surprised.
Yeah,
I think he smokes this guy early doors.
Yeah, I've said I think it's one set up for O'Malley to have another highlight reel knockout. Yeah, really, it's just going. It's another one to add to his highlights.
Do you think it's wise? Because you've got some experience in stepping in last minute for fights, haven't you? Is it? You know, you see a wrinkle in his game and you find a way to beat this guy, which is why you jump at that opportunity, or is it just nothing to lose? You know, what sort of mentality do you reckon Montinho has coming into this?
I just don't think unless he's a solid heavy wrestler, I don't think he sees any weakness in O'Malley's game. I think the biggest weakness is a heavy wrestler just putting it on him, but I don't think this guy's a heavy wrestler, man. I just think he's jumping at an opportunity. Yeah. I think an opportunity has presented itself and I think he's taken it. You can't really blame him.
Yeah.
But it's like hindsight will tell. If he goes and wins it, you're like, oh, what a chance. But if he loses it, you go, oh, stupid decision. Mm-hmm. So he's jumping at an opportunity, and that's the way it is, isn't it? If he wins it, he's a genius.
Yeah.
His coaches look fantastic, don't they? Yeah. But that's the way it is.
All right, so that was Duncan right there, and he has some strong opinions there, of course, about O'Malley just basically getting the job done here, round one against this Montinho guy. And look, rightly so. I mean, if you're looking at the rest of it, what wins by O'Malley's just well known for his accuracy and his striking, and as Duncan was just saying there in the clip, you know, he's an amazing striker. You know, he's someone who's rarely in trouble himself as well. But yeah, I think in terms of this one, it's just going to be a quick one, to be honest, Linus. I reckon it's going to be an easy one. I would have to say that this fight's got to go to O'Malley over Montinho. You know, the guys...
What, first, second round? We going for straight away?
Yeah, first round. It's not going to get out the first round. This is just a nice, easy one for O'Malley to get his confidence back and, you know, get back in the top 15 of the rankings, I think. You know, he's got a lot of support, O'Malley. You know, he's got a lot of... he's like a star boy. People want to see him do well. So he's massively been helped out with this fight, I can tell you.
Yeah, well, it seems it. Well, that's just, you know, I mean, with fights like this, like I've been in with fights where, you know, fights like this where short notice and kind of, this guy isn't going to trouble you. This guy isn't, you know, I understand writing off Matey coming in, but he's not going to trouble you. All you need to do is look really good.
Yeah.
You can't be flat. You just have to look really good. You can't just go through the motions. Fights like these are where you need to show up and actually, you know, show you're a star to the mainstream and for the highlight reels, you know.
I reckon for someone like Montinho, survive as long as he can. You know, let Dana White realize that he's probably got a future here somewhere and he's got some growing to do for sure. But you get sparked out in first round, and what Duncan just said there is that, you know, Dana White might just delete his number. But other than that, right? You know, I mean, Duncan he's had experience stepping in last minute for fights. But have you had experience stepping in last minute on fights in your career?
Yeah. I've stepped in the last minute once or twice in my career, like 2 weeks notice, 10 days notice. But they've always been in favor for me. Like I've just stepped on a big card, like just been ready, stepped on a big card, and fight Chris Moutinho. Like look, obviously we're obviously writing off, writing off his chances to O'Malley, but in that context, yeah, I've been in short notice fights. I've never been in short notice as the nail.
Yeah.
But I've always gone in as the hammer. So
Nice.
yeah. So
Nice.
I've got experience going in a short notice. You never really with them, like I said, with the experience of that, you just have to look really good. You need to make the highlight reels.
Yeah.
With fights like that, because that is a gimme. That is on the plate. Here you go, do your best.
Yeah.
And you need to show them what you're about.
Yeah. Exactly. Help us remember what the KO Sean O'Malley looks like. But yeah. It's done well. So let's take a look at the next fight up on the card then. So that's the starting the event, Sean O'Malley versus Chris Moutinho. But next we've got Aldana against Kunitskaya. So these girls are ranked. I think my eyes aren't failing me. I believe it says like rank 4 for Aldana, and is that 5 there for Kunitskaya as well. So she's certainly punching up. But what do you think about this fight? So what we've got these two female fighters here. We've got Aldana, who's more of a striker, predominantly striker, not so great on the ground. Kunitskaya, who's someone who can initial that sort of grapple game, get her opponent down on the ground as well. Reach, of course, looks fairly much the same. But these are well matched opponents. They're pretty equal in many ways. I believe that.
Yeah, 100%. Go on. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I believe both of these guys had defeated the last fight. Vera, I believe her name was Kira, something Vera. But they last fought early this year, and they both got one apiece over her. So look, they're both very capable fighters.
Yeah, aesthetically, when you look at the numbers, they actually they match up pretty well. Similar experience, and they actually match up really well. Not really giving away too much, maybe a couple of inches in Aldana's favor, but in height that is.
Yeah.
But other than that, they don't really. It's not really much to go by. Very good records. Same amount of wins, same amount of losses. It should be a really good toss up. Really.
I hope so. Yeah. Just looking down at significant strikes here now. So you got someone like Aldana with 5.84, and then Kunitskaya 4.22. Now, I can see exactly how this is happening. Kunitskaya is someone who likes to sort of initiate the clinch, right? She's from the Thai clinch. She's getting her knees in. She's striking from that position.
Yeah, I was just about to say that doesn't necessarily mean that she hasn't got the hands or the legs. Maybe she just prefers the ground game. Maybe she prefers getting inside, wrestling a bit, and ground and pounding from there. But very very interesting numbers.
But yeah, and how does this figure then? So in terms of like strikes, where Kunitskaya is less. She is a lot higher on significant strikes. So yeah, she, it certainly shows there that Aldana is someone who does throw her hands out there, but she doesn't necessarily always connect. So in terms of who's doing more damage, it looks like Kunitskaya, although the landed per minute strikes is lower.
Yeah, so it's like again, I think the numbers are going to be very similar on either side, and if there are differences, it'll be very slight. It'll be very slight, and it's all of it is it's made to be a quite 50, what we would call, and I'm pretty sure you would call in the MMA world 50-50 as well.
Yeah. In terms of where this fight's going to take place, I guess Kunitskaya having higher numbers there in terms of grappling, 1.62 against Aldana, who's got 0.34. Do you think Aldana is going to be able to do enough to keep this fight standing, or do you reckon that Kunitskaya is going to have her way and put this on the ground, or is she going to keep it standing too? What do you think?
Yeah. Assuming she goes to the ground, the significant strikes weren't really that far off each other. I think they both like to throw their hands just as much as each other. The only numbers that really are glaringly different and glaringly superior is Kunitskaya likes to go down or initiate a clinch or go for a takedown.
Yeah.
And I think that may be the difference between her coming out of this fight successful or not.
Yeah. And then I guess it begs to differ. Begs to pay attention then to the takedown defense of course, Aldana. It's there, only 3%. So it's just really hard to find out where it's going to take place. Is she going to manage to get it to the ground? She's probably going to try, keep up against the fence at least, and sort of,
Yeah.
and the damage from there. But
like I said, it's a genuine coin toss.
Yeah.
You don't know. It's one of those fights. One person's superior at one thing, the other person's superior at defending against that thing. So who knows? It looks good on paper, and the numbers match up well. Very, like I said, very even, and it should be a pretty good. It's a pretty good fight to put on that card.
Yeah, I like to say so as well. I reckon in terms of the advantages here, I think if Aldana can keep it standing, and she's gonna have to do her best to keep Kunitskaya away from her, then she can have some good success here. In the fight, probably something that'll go decision. I imagine none of these girls are largely known for their knockout abilities, but in terms of who I like for it, I feel like Kunitskaya would be able to smother Aldana. I just feel like Aldana won't be able to keep her away. She needs to. That's what she needs to try and do.
Yeah.
But I don't think she'll be able to keep Kunitskaya at distance, and Kunitskaya will probably close at distance. And if she's in close and she's got that body lock, or she's on the ground, it's Kunitskaya's fight all day long. I would say.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Let's have a look at what's next. So next up, we've got Tai Tuivasa, Greg Hardy. Tuivasa, yeah. Tai Tuivasa and Greg Hardy. These guys, power punchers. I mean, sparks will be flying on this one. Sparks will be flying.
I've seen.
This Tai Tuivasa guy, right? He's the one who loves the shoey, isn't he? He get put. He's Australian or New Zealand? I can't. But either way.
Probably New Zealand.
He just loves the shoey, and look at that. He's got that tattoo, the traditional tattoo as well. But look, power punches. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, like you said, fireworks. I don't see this seeing the final horn or bell. No. And yeah, I've seen Greg Hardy. I've seen Greg Hardy a few times. I've never seen. I'm not going to try and say that name. Tai Tuivasa.
That's the one.
I'm not. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I've never seen anything of him, but this is. I'm speaking as a very casual fan here. I've seen a bit of Greg Hardy, and if you're saying this man is what you say he is, then I can't see this going the full distance. I can't see this going all the way. The numbers fare up well. Greg Hardy's got a massive advantage, if it is an advantage in reach. He's got 5.5 inches on him.
Yep.
And while he's the older, which doesn't really matter, but he's older as well, and he's a couple of inches taller.
Yeah, true.
But it looks good. It looks good on paper. It looks very, very good fight to put in the co-main event as a co-main event. It's a very good fight. It's a very good fight. It's a fight you wanna get warmed up for.
Absolutely, yeah. And look at this: wins by KO or TKO. 92% for Bam Bam. That's the Tuivasa guy, and then Prince of War, who's Hardy, 86%. Yeah, so these guys are just knockout ability, and then decision. Look how it just completely trumps. Scrolling there, completely trumps down there. The decision or the subs count as well. No subs, and of course decisions 14 and 8%. So they don't. They have no interest. This is what I mean. The numbers are suggesting that they both. We're in for a really good co-main event. They start strong.
They're both going to be in there looking to take each other out. Yeah, they're going to be in there live, looking to take each other out. There's no clinching. There's no taking each other down. There's none of that. And I think we're going to see a really good co-main event here.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'm really pardon me, not co-main event, just a prelim coming up to the co-main event. It should be.
I know what you meant. I'm
really looking forward to it.
Good fight. It's gonna be a right fight. It's gonna be good.
Very good fight.
Let's have a quick look at those strikes on each of these guys. Then, so significant strikes landed. It looks like in terms of accuracy, you're favoring Bam Bam there, 4.42, and then you got Hardy there with 3.88. And then significant strikes. Again, it seems to be leaning in the way of Tuivasa, but I think he might have. I don't know who's got more fights, to be fair. But otherwise, these stats.
Tuivasa has more fights. Yeah. He has 5 more fights than Greg Hardy.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's certainly.
He's fought 5 more times. And you know what? He's got a better record for, or he's got more stoppages. He's got more stoppages. So he's he's got to be landing more of his shots. He's got to, you know, he's got a better stoppage percentage. You know, he's landing a lot more of his shots cleaner, and yeah, no, it looks the numbers look really good. But
it's gonna be fireworks. You can just tell looking at those numbers.
It is going to be fireworks. It is going to be fireworks. I don't think we should be fooled by 86% to 93. That's still. That doesn't mean anything. It is who lands first, doesn't it? It's just who lands first.
Yeah, look, this is quite it, 100%. And we're gonna have to find out about just who could be more animated on their feet as well. I mean, of course, you're a boxer, right? So you haven't necessarily. I mean, have you ever sort of dabbled at all in MMA? Different styles of fighting.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Before I was boxing, I'd done Muay Thai, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, karate, you name it. I'd done everything. I'd done it all. And I still actually mess around with the most handsome man in MMA at the minute as well. I still do some MMA sparring with him as well. So
he knows who he is,
doesn't
he? He knows who he is.
Yeah, he knows who he is. I still mess around with him, and I'm he probably won't, but he'll vouch for me. I've done a bit.
No, decent. So I was just going to say then, have you ever had to deal with the sort of takedown element when fighting? So if you're throwing punches and you're boxing, as you would do even in the octagon, and then of course having to then deal with the fact that you can duck underneath one of your strikes and go to take you down as well. Have you ever had to deal with that? Maybe not in a professional fight, but do you know what that's like?
Yeah, 100%. I'm normally the one aggressing for the takedown. I love taking people down. Normally set it up with either a front lead left leg kick, and then go in for a takedown, or
set up,
put a jab out there, and then go in for a takedown. That's normally my go-tos. And Duncan, unfortunately, falls for it all the time. He'll say different, but he does. He falls for it all the time.
Oh, brilliant. Well, we're going to have to get him on. I think we've got some more clips from him a bit later on in the show, actually, as well. But yeah, we're definitely going to have to, at one point, get him up here. All right, nice. And then, so just having a look then at these guys, you got someone like Tai Tuivasa, who's 100% takedown defense, and then Greg Hardy, who's got that 66% on takedown defense. So looking at that, I just think people look at someone like Tai Tuivasa and they don't even bother taking him down because he probably just lose faith. And
you won't get it. Yeah, you won't get it. I mean? Yeah, you know what? He seems like it's one of those where you look at his numbers and you go, how do you fight him? Because the numbers, you can't take him down. In 15 fights, you can't take him down. So you can't take him down. And he's got 92%, was it? 92% stoppage rate?
Takedown defense is 100% for Tai Tuivasa.
Yeah, okay. Well, what was his wins by stoppage?
Right. Okay, so TKO's knockouts. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it was 92. Yeah.
92%? Mm-hmm. So you're telling me now, most of his fights, 92% of his fights are finished by stoppage, and you cannot put him on his ass. Unless you're a power puncher, you're not going to do well. How do you beat him?
Yeah.
Unless you can hit as well, how do you beat him?
I think,
or just stay away from his shots.
Yeah, exactly. Later rounds, probably try piece him up when he's fatigued. Sort of.
But 92% says you won't.
you got to try and get that first. Survive the storm, weather the storm, and get that far. Give it a go. And quite literally,
I don't know. I'd rather Greg than me. I'd rather the Prince of War than me.
Yeah. Do you know? So this guy, I've seen him on the ground. He's been taken down a few times, and I feel like that was the blueprint given for his demise, basically. So that's why that percentage has been there. Anyone who's then fought him after that would then know that put him on the ground, lie him down, and then you can sort of edge the decision or edge that round. But he doesn't do too well off his back. He does gas quite hard as well. So he has been taken down a few times. You can see that 66% was a stat for his lack of defense on the takedowns. But will Tai Tuivasa initiate that? I think he's going to be confident in his hands and stand up.
Yeah, I can't see that. I can't see someone with those kind of numbers. He's not going to do that. And if he does, it'll be, like you said, it would fade. It'll be later rounds. He'll be fading. He'll grab out and then try and grind a pounder.
Yeah.
No, I can't see it though. I can't see him choosing to do it as a point of let me start with this. Let me start with attacking him instead of trying to piece him out of a big 1-2.
No, exactly. And also like this guy, well, basically he's just brain fart. I forgot what I was going to say.
Happens to the best of us, brother. Happens to the best of us.
But yeah, oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, he's a showboater. That's what I'm trying to say, right? The guy who does shoeies, right? I was just so disgusted thinking about what he does after he wins a fight. You know, I forgot what my train of thought was, but he likes to take shoeies, right? He's an entertainer. You know, he's not going to be someone who's going to be doing a boring fight, taking him down. He's going to be up throwing, laying leather, and throwing his fists. And I think, yeah, and he's just going to be entertaining the crowd. He just loves it, especially when you got like the whole entire T-Mobile Arena packing out now for this event. No, this is absolutely his element. He's going to love it. All right, so that is.
Sounds good.
That's I think for this one, I'm gonna like Tai for Tuivasa for this fight. Are you sticking with your boy Greg Hardy? You said you've seen him before, or was he not your boy?
Yeah, I've seen him before, but you know the numbers. You know, I've seen him before, so I know what I've seen. He looked good. I can't remember who he fought. It looked good to me, but those numbers are quite terrifying. And I want Greg to win. I want him to do well, but I'm gonna have to go with you on this one.
He does gas quite hard, Greg. But you know, if he can catch Tai Tuivasa early enough on, and Tai's not too distracted by the crowd, then there's his chances. But also, this Tai guy, he's 100% takedown defense, and not saying that's something that Greg's gonna look to do in this fight. But other than that, he is certainly you know, he's landed more significant strikes, and he's got high numbers for sure. All right, let's have a look at it.
100%.
Let's check out the next one. So,
Wonder Boy.
Oh man, yeah, we're up to co-main already. Look at that.
Wonder Boy.
Yes.
My boy.
That's the one.
Here he
That's
is.
the one. So we got here
Gilbert
Burns.
Gilbert Burns.
And Wonder Boy Thompson. I believe we've got a clip here as well, actually, of some interviews we had earlier in the week. I sat down with a multitude of fighters this week, some Irish fighters as well, who've sparred and trained with Conor McGregor himself. But, you know, some of these boys just had their opinions on what's going to be coming up in these events. But first, we do have just a couple of words from Duncan as well, as we sort of get into the main card. Title of the main event.
Okay, then that moves on to the predictions then. So, Ryan, who have you got for Gilbert Burns versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson? Okay, then that moves on to the predictions then. So, Ryan, who have you got for Gilbert Burns versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson this Saturday?
I'm going to go Wonderboy by first round TKO against Gilbert Burns.
So, Ryan, that leaves on for the main event then. Who have you got for Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor?
For the Conor and Poirier fight, I'm going to go Conor first or second round TKO. I think the Conor we're going to get this time now is going to be that back to that open stance, you know, style. Like, so he has likes of lads like Keane Cowley. Keane Cowley is going to be leathering his legs apart, like, so the whole leg kick thing, I don't think that's going to play a factor in this fight. Then we're going to get the prime Conor, you know, the Conor at the wide stance, looking for that counter strike.
Yes. So that was Ryan, of course, just chiming in there in terms of what his picks are for this upcoming fight. He seems to think that Gilbert Burns is going to get the job done, and TKO or KO Stephen Thompson. But then, of course, you've got his picks there, of course, for the main event as well, which we'll get into shortly. But first and foremost, let's break it down. Let's check it out. So we've got Gilbert Burns, Stephen Thompson. You said he's your boy, Linus.
The waterweights, Stephen Thompson. He's the Wonder Boy. The Wonder Boy.
Yeah, he is something special.
The Wonder Boy. Yeah, I don't know. It's just his style. It's just I love it. I love what I see.
Yeah.
I like what I see. He's got a really good style, man. Obviously been handed a few losses, but you know, I like his style, man. Behind him all the way.
A bit more in his style. Like, I know
he's
a lot in and out
Gilbert
on the
Burns.
strikes as well. He's so light on his feet. The way he moves is, you know, something to marvel at as well. But you know, it's can you relate to his style in any way in terms of your style of fighting?
Not necessarily. No. It's not like that. It's hard to do that because I work
kicks. Of course, you wouldn't be kicking.
Yeah. I work off how I fight. I've always fought in and out, and I work off pivots.
Yeah.
I work off pivots, very slight movements, very, very close, and then all of a sudden out of range and then back in range. It's completely different. He's a really good judge of distance. He knows exactly where to just be out of the way, but then just being dangerous enough still to get his shots off. You know, and his lovely front kick or side kick off And it's just, you know, it's I love it. I love what I see. It's a really good. It's like a hybrid karate style. It's I don't know, whatever it is. It's good. I like it.
It is. No, 100%. And you know, he's not young. He's not young now, is he?
Yeah, 38, man. He's 2 years away from 40.
Oh, this is it.
He's not young, but he still moves well. He still moves well. Let's just hope Father Time doesn't catch up with him on the night.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be such an important fight for him in terms of coming into this, right? He's got to think about what's going to be next for him. I mean, he's probably someone who's certainly in some sort of title contention. He's in the list or lineup, if you like, of people who need to be fighting for the title pretty soon in his division. But at the same time, like I said, look, he's not young. He's got to have to. If he doesn't do this, then I think that could be his.
He's gonna have to take some risks.
Take some time. Yeah. But you know, like you said, he's good at distance management. He does edge the reach advantage here as well against Gilbert Burns. So I can imagine he probably just doesn't want to go near him. How do you reckon he's going to play this one? Is he going to stay in Burns' face, or is he just going to be, you know?
No. I think he's going to be on his back foot. I think he's going to be on his back foot. He's going to, you know, use that distance quite well. Use those side kicks and kind of just keep everything off that distance. Yeah. He won't. I don't think he will engage massively. I don't think you want to get taken down. I don't think he'll put himself in any of these positions. But obviously, that's in a perfect world for Stephen Thompson. Obviously, Gilbert Burns is going to have his own ideas on what he wants to do.
Yeah, that's true. That's it. At the end of the day, you're right. Let's have a look at some of the stats here then. So we like in terms of like knockouts, we've got 32% there for Gilbert Burns and 44% there TKO like for Thompson. But submissions, Gilbert Burns is up there as well. You can tell, you know, where he likes to spend his time. Gilbert Burns is a well-rounded fighter. You know, he's a grappler. He's someone who can wrestle quite well and put you in some dangerous, compromising positions on the ground. But, you know, he's dangerous too. He can also strike. You know, Wonderboy, on the other hand, predominantly striker. He doesn't sort of have that same sort of ground ability. But I mean, he's been out for a while. We've not seen him fight for ages. Do you think it's something he's been working on, or is he just going to stick to what he does best?
I don't know. Yeah, like you said, we've got to go back to the context of, you know, his age. Is he going to really start trying to add things to his arsenal now? Like, it's one of those, you know, is he going to, you know, at his age, is he even got the capacity to add, you know, things to his arsenal now? Or has he been carrying injuries? That's why he hasn't been in for a while. You know, what's been going on? Who knows? Who knows what's been going on? But I can't remember who his last fight was. I wanted. It wasn't. Who was it?
His last fight would have been. I would have seen some of the tape on it as well. Let's have a look.
Not Woodley. No.
Let's have a quick look.
Yeah, I think you know, the numbers. I don't really think there's too much Stephen Thompson could have added to his arsenal to stop or to match Burns's, you know, ground game. I think the best thing to do is kind of just keep that distance, keep yourself circling the octagon, and keep everything on your front kick, and then, you know, work everything off that. And you know, I think just kind of not make it a boring one, but make it an outside chess match. Don't even try and engage with him. Don't try and engage with Gilbert Burns, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's not wise to do. But similar to how he would have fought against Vincent Luque, but his last fight was Jeff Neal. Okay. Remember that, and that was a pretty good fight. But you know, he's much like he's much like I don't know what, Bruce Willis in all of his movies, right? The same sort of character in every sort of fight he steps into. You know, he doesn't sort of like bring anything new. It's like, you know, when he's at his best, it's just, you know, something to marvel at. And no, he certainly does what he does really well. I don't know anyone else actually who can do what he does. Saying that, do you know who Gilbert Burns brought into his camp to help train for Wonderboy? All right. For everyone who's watching this, drop some comments in as well. But also, if you haven't heard of this guy, YouTube him and watch his highlights. I mean, it's amazing. Raymond Daniels, right? The guy is an insane sort of like kickboxer martial artist. He's insane. he's the sort of guy who's who knocked this guy out, and it's actually called something, but I'm going to call it a massive twirly whirly, because he spins around, a couple of leg kicks go flying around.
Oh,
and he's just
I've seen it.
What, the guy flinches.
Does he spin like?
Yeah, he spins. I mean,
and then he throws a right hand.
Yes, that's the knockout. That's the one. That's the one.
He spins like he's gonna do 2 spinning back kicks. He pulls up. He just leaves both of them and then lands and then just goes whack.
Yes.
I was like, yo, what? I was like, wait a minute. Somebody call an ambulance. Who is that man?
I was just saying this earlier this week. I had an interview with one of the Muay Thai fighters, Dylan Muir. So he's from Ireland, and we're just talking about that exact knockout. And we're just saying, like, you know, when you can, like, when your kicks hurt so much and you can kick so well, your opponent's now afraid of you. So all you got to do is turn around and then they flinch. You know, you just do a little swirl and watch him back up. And I reckon he was having a laugh. You know, I reckon Raymond Daniels, he knows this. So he's in the octagon and he's playing around and he turns his hips and watch him flinch. Because he's already done damage in the first couple he's thrown, you know. But yeah, man, some crazy stuff. And so look, it's coming back again. Here you are. I just thought you just flexing your. I mean, you modeling now?
Nah, someone called me. Someone called me. I need to do not disturb my thing. Go on.
So yeah, look, you know, the story of this, I can imagine Gilbert Burns going to try get close, right, get down to the ground, and one of the boys just got to be so switched on in his distance management, keeping him away. You know, all of the numbers here, they tally up. It shows that in terms of who can do the most on the ground, Gilbert Burns. If it goes to the mat, then look, Gilbert Burns all day long. If it stays standing, and you know, we see another clinic, from Wonder Boy, then. That's
from Wonder Boy.
Far more entertaining.
How do you think if Burns does get success, how do you think it even comes about? Because how do you go against that negative style where the person doesn't want to, he wants to keep you on every lever, he wants to keep you on the end of every lever? How do you negate that? How do you change it up?
Well, Burns has got to be exploding. I think he's got to go exploding, but with multiple combinations in order to get in.
Not working on sweeps now, because I think if you try and throw a combination, whether it's head or all you keep meeting is that side kick lever that's keeping you outside. I think you got around to doing that.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to catch that. If that comes at you, you got to catch that. You got to catch it. You got to try cut off the octagon, get ahead of his lead leg. But I mean, predominantly in terms of like exploding in, you know, maybe even just after that kick's come, because once the kick's thrown, it's got to reload before it comes again. So if he sort of times it right straight after the kick from Wonder Boy, he starts throwing his hands, letting them loose, and multiple combinations. He's going to back up after the couple of those combinations, certainly. But then at that point, once he's backed up, you just keep going with the next set of combinations, and you're in. You know, the defense is already behind.
Yeah.
He's got nowhere to go.
Next phase, and then. Yeah, next phase, and then eventually, you know, the back's gonna, unless he's really superior, unless he's really got really superior footwork and distance, he'll, you know, his back will eventually hit the octagon, and then you can get your takedown that way.
Exactly. And this is it. Like he's really good at being in and out. Wonder Boy, you know, he's so good at being evasive and not taking damage, and I think that's just a really good trait of a wise fighter. A smart fighter doesn't get hit so much.
100%.
And, so he's really good at doing that. But one of the ways of doing that is he does back up. He moves linearly. He backs out of your range. You come at him, you explode. You're throwing your fist. He backs up by choice to evade, but then he would sort of reset, move around, and come in again. Before he gets the chance to reset, move around, that's when you got to go again and like I said, backs up against the fence, not let him move anywhere else. So yeah, Burns has got to be really, really acute to that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I understand. Yeah. No, it's a good, stylistically, it's a great fight. Yeah. Both similar records. Both really good styles. And yeah, I can't wait to see it happen. And yeah, I mean, they're only. We know we spoke about age earlier, and we touched on that a little bit. I don't really think age matters too much in the UFC, to be honest with you. In boxing, maybe, but I don't really think it matters too much in the UFC. No. And you know, they're already 4 years apart anyway. I think we're really in for a good fight here.
Saying that, yeah, I guess in terms of when you're talking about splattering DNA over the canvas and you know throwing fists together, it doesn't really matter too much. But I'm talking about the career aspect of it. You know, he's got a timeline here now. This is an important fight for Wonderboy.
I completely agree. If Gilbert Burns doesn't come out successful, he's still got options, and he's still got places he can rebuild from. You know, where does Wonderboy go from here?
Yeah, that's true. What do you think is next for Burns then? I mean, another title shot, I guess, at Usman.
Well, if he wins or if he doesn't,
well, it'd be in line for it. I think you still got Kobe Covington, who's in the queue here in this division, and he's supposedly going to be quite a dangerous prospect for Usman. So everyone wants to see Kobe have a go before Burns goes again, but at least he can make sure he's lined up and ready if he does get this one.
Yeah, I think this is what I mean. Like there's options there for Burns, no matter what happens. So unless it's something really devastating and it's like an absolute mismatch, there's still options for him here. He doesn't just fade into mediocrity. But I think there's still definitely options for Gilbert Burns here. But Stephen Thompson, I'm not really sure. If he doesn't come out successful, I'm not sure what happens. If he wins, I think there's a lot there. He can challenge for a championship 100%.
Yeah, true. All right, so let's get to the main event. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Do you realize that? Here it is.
El Diamante.
Here it is.
The lightweights.
Yeah, man.
The lightweights.
Yeah, man. Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor, number 3. And look, this is going to be exciting. And you can imagine earlier this week when I had interviews with some of those fighters, they had lots to say about this particular event. You know, these were the Irish fighters. Dylan Merle was one of them. I had Eric on as well as John Mitchell. And these guys have fought with Conor McGregor in the past too, which has just been quite exciting because they've sparred with him, is what I mean. But they was all talking about how motivated they are when they come into fight week and McGregor's there. And he's just wearing the colours and he's supporting the country. But, just a huge amount of excitement and drive for Irish fighters out there to, really excel and do something. So I'm just going to play one of the clips from these boys earlier in the week. And then we'll be right back to break down this fight from everything from what punches can be thrown to who gets the upper hand on the ground. Let's have a look.
I'll be going back and forth for weeks.
I have been as well.
As of last night, I was like, yeah, I think Conor's going to do it. Either first or second round. That left hand put him away or something. But at the moment, it's staying like that.
Yeah, and you got to put it apart as well. If it goes a distance or if it gets a finish, who's gonna do it? But what about you? Who have you got for it? Who do you think is gonna do put who away in the main event?
I think Conor will clip him in the third round.
Conor in 3.
The third as well, lads. The third, yeah, that's it's gonna go. He's fit as fuck, that lad at the moment. He was fit 7 weeks ago when I was sparring him, like, and I can only imagine he's fit now, like. So I'd say he's made the adjustments, and like what John's good at is he's good at like game planning. You know what I mean? Like, so I'd say they'll have him well dust. I think the boxer always beats the puncher the second time round. That lad is certainly a boxer, So
that's it. And you said you tested the leg kicks, right? So when I'm watching on the weekend, he's not going to be like getting pieced up on the legs anymore. That's
checking everyone.
You sharpened that part of his game, right?
Yeah, that one's covered. That one's got covered.
John,
I got more confidence now.
John, just finally, just before we wrap up,
who do you have for it, and how are you seeing it play out?
I have this conversation with everyone. My missus, my osteopath, and each time someone asks me, I change my mind. I just think right now I'm swaying towards Poirier, like round 4, but the most important thing is getting through round 1. If he can get through Conor in round 1, then it's Poirier's. I think. I agree. Like Khabib said it the other day, round 1 it's Conor's. If it goes past round 1, it's Dustin's. I'd go Poirier late. I used to be the biggest Conor fan.
I know. I was gonna say.
Now I'm a bit of a Poirier fanboy.
Wow.
It's hard to call. I think he thinks he's going to smoke him, and that makes a big difference when he really believes it. I think.
Yeah, he's gonna be coming in with so much confidence in this, and I think for Poirier, it's a matter of being a step ahead of Conor. We're all going to be expecting that low calf expecting it.
Yep.
So I think Poirier is going to be that one step ahead, if you know what I mean. He knows he's gonna be prepared for it, but it's what he does.
I think that will still be a factor. I think that will still be a factor. I think he'll still throw it. But if you remember, Conor was catching at in round 2, wasn't he? He was catching at maybe 3 out of the 4 times he threw it, and he almost didn't know what to do with it. I think it was my Osteopath thinks it was more of a like he was flustered more so than the kick hurting him. Like he felt like he was taking too many strikes.
Yeah,
and maybe he doesn't spar with high enough level guys in comparison to himself. Obviously, the guys he trains with are very high level, but in comparison to Conor, the other guys good enough to really work him, really put him under the cosh, sort of thing, make him really work.
We've got some good insights yesterday, basically saying that he's resorted to a lot more high-level MMA guys into his camp now, and apparently it's the leg has been the target. So and they sound very confident that we're going to get sort of like an old Conor back. And adopt to that wide stance again. So I know, and the Irish guys are fucking gunning for it, mate. They're so confident on it almost.
And you think the wider stance would be more inviting for the kick though? If it's a wider stance, is that not more inviting? I know he's got a bit more in and out, but a wider stance, surely that's more inviting for the kick.
Maybe you want to bait it. You know, try to attack it, and then he counters off it. You know, or he does more with that front leg rather than let it sit there.
Yeah, more kicks from Conor.
Yeah,
that pull, you could quite easily see him throw the pull counter and just dropping him, can't you? You could quite easily see him doing it as easy as the first time.
Yeah,
but then Dustin did take some of his best shots. I think since Dustin's gone up to that 155, and he said he was 176 tonight that fight. That is insane. 155 to 176. That is a joke. I guarantee you, was Conor that big? I don't think he was.
No.
In a way, and he was like sucking his chest up, and he still wasn't as big as Poirier. He was like sucking his chest up to be as big as possible. And I thought, he looks a lot bigger than him here, man. Poirier looks like he's gone up 2 weight classes, man. He's big.
He is, yeah.
He's a big guy now.
And what I saw in that second fight when they did come together was Conor put himself in a very dangerous position with Poirier in the octagon. It all ended when he was back against the fence and Poirier was like in his element, just raining in those punches. So granted his front leg was fatigued from all the kicks it had taken, but if he had sort of found more space and didn't get in that compromising situation, I think he could have lasted a bit longer and had another opportunity to catch Poirier. But Poirier 9 times out of 10 has guys in that position back against the fence and just landing a flurry of strikes that just finds its way for the guard and puts people out.
Gaethje, Alvarez, who else has he done? Hooker, he had in trouble there. Yeah. He finished Gaethje, he finished Alvarez there. He had Hooker in a lot of trouble.
Very dangerous place to be.
What else has he did there? Yeah, he just unlucky, man. He just throws everything when he goes against the first.
Yeah, exactly. And if you get it, you got a fighters with great ground game, right? And you try to keep the fight standing. You don't want to go down there because that's their playground and you're playing by their rules. But in the same way, like back against the fence and Poirier up against you, that's as bad as being on the ground against a jiu-jitsu specialist. Very dangerous.
It really is. Yeah,
don't hang out there. I'd love to see this go further than 2 rounds because we've not seen that yet. They owe it to the fans. So the hype and everything for this fight, it needs to get to round 4, please, at least. I would love that to happen.
Four's the most we can ask for.
You'd be dreaming to ask for 5.
I mean, if it goes 5, I'm a fan of both. So
I don't care who wins. It's been great entertainment, wouldn't it? Fight of the year.
Ideal situation for me is a split decision. Like, seeing Conor sprawl down the floor last time, I was like, oh, this kind of hurts. Yeah. Seeing Dustin celebrate, I was like, this is good. But seeing Conor on the floor, this hurts a bit. Like, bad to see. It's not good to see. Likewise, I don't want to see Dustin unconscious on the floor. I just think, it's not what you want to see, really, is it? But some people do. I want to see. I'd say split decision would be ideal for me.
Ideal.
Either way, I'm not fussed.
Yes. So that was quite a big long clip, that wasn't it? So that was Duncan. He had a lot to say when it comes down to this main card. But also we had just before that John Mitchell chiming in as well on his thoughts here for Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor. And look, a lot of people saying the same thing. Leg kicks. It's what tore them apart in the second time they met on the octagon, and they think it could be a problem for them again the third time they meet. But some people are confident that McGregor's wise up to it now, and he knows exactly what to do. What do you reckon, Linus? Do you reckon leg kick is going to be a problem?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I think, 100%. I think Poirier really did well with leg kicks. You know, I watched the first fight. I watched the first one over, and you know that was a young, hungry, absolute monster of a McGregor that went through him like nothing. Like, you know, that was really good fight. And Poirier said something in an interview not too long ago. And he said, you know, the first fight, he was really angry. You can see it. He was just really amped up. Yeah. He was amped up. All the talking got in his head a little bit. And you see it, you know, you see how he got in the octagon. He got in, he was all animated. He was really tight. He was really tightly wound. You see it really got to him. I'm not saying that would have, if it didn't, it would have made a difference in the result. The second time over, you can see it. Poirier, 4 years later? Yeah. Completely different man. His style is completely different as well. And leg kicks, he changed his game plan. He added something else. Got through to him. Varied his shots. I think the second fight he started slow. Yeah. I think Poirier started slow. McGregor, started really well, started really fast. Yeah. When I watched it, after the first round, I didn't see it going any other way but McGregor's way. I thought either Dustin started slow or McGregor started fast and made him look a bit slow. Yeah. And granted, Dustin caught him with a lot of counter shots, counter strikes, as McGregor leans in over that front foot a lot. Especially when he's throwing that southpaw backhand, he leans over himself a lot. And what do you call it?
It's just there to get taken all day, wasn't it? From Poirier.
Yeah, I think Poirier was catching him with a check right hook, caught him a few times with it. And the leg kicks were just kind of keeping him planting another seed in his head. And it was a great finish when it came. Yeah. And I think that was a very damaging way for McGregor to go. And I think that's still going to be, in the back of his head. But I think this is a lot more than I think this is a lot more than. This is a lot more than just, skills and what we learned and things like that. I think this is, it's 1-1. Yeah. Winner takes all. Yeah. Pride, the talking, the new McGregor, the old McGregor, all these things. Oh, has he made too much money? Is his eye on it anymore? Is he still hungry? Is he this? Is he this? I used to say when after the McGregor Poirier second fight, I said to everybody, Duncan, everybody, I said to everybody, listen, that you see his hunger ain't there. He's made too much money. He don't care. It's not, it's not the same. It's easier to quit now when you've made a ton of money. And I'm not going to throw that word out there because I don't think that's what happened. Yeah. Obviously, not what happened. He got iced. Yeah. But what I'm saying is has the hunger gone? Because he's made over $200 million in his side hustle, and he's making millions fighting. But is he like, exactly. Is what it is?
Yeah, that's it.
Then again, I ask myself, I'm not putting myself through a camp, a weight cut, sparring, getting hit in the head, doing all this
to get something
when I've got enough money and I don't need to.
Exactly.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I don't. So he's definitely still hungry. And, at a minute, I think it's all about pride. It's all about what's up here now.
That's it.
It's pride and ego. And, they both have a point to prove. And this, in my opinion, will be the best fight out of the three.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're 100% right. I feel like in terms of when you get to that status, you got to find something else to fight for, because part of being a really good fighter is who wants it more. You're fighting you have that fight inside you as well to sort of have a better life for yourself or for your family, whoever it might be for. And you're always finding those new reasons. So a wise man once said, I think this was GSP, he said, look, it's hard to become champion, but it's even harder to stay champion because you do have to sort of, you've noticed yourself, right? It's,
oh yeah, look,
champ.
Becoming the champion was hard, but staying undefeated and staying a champion is because everyone's after you. Yeah. When you're going for a title, you're one of the people going up there for trying to grab a title. When you grab it, everyone's clawing at you. Everyone's grabbing at you, and at whatever level, people, you understand it's very difficult to stay a champion for a long time anyway.
Yeah, no, look, 100%. And, for McGregor, it's certainly a battle now to find that other inner drive. And I don't doubt that he's able to do that. I don't doubt that he's someone who's got that sort of I was talking to some of the Irish lads earlier this week, and they're just saying, Irish guys, they're built different. They just got this sort of like animosity inside of them, and you can see it sometimes with McGregor. That animosity can just come out. I didn't like the McGregor I saw in the press conference and all that sort of lead up to the last fight with Poirier. It just didn't seem like him. And everyone's saying they want to see the Conor of old come back. The Conor from the first fight, he was smack talking and all that sort of thing. And here's my problem with that. As much as I do want to see that, my issue is Poirier's not going back to any previous state. He's grown. He's gone from how he was in their first fight to improving for his second fight. And I bet you now he's even improved coming into the third. I don't want Conor McGregor to go back. I want to see a new, evolved Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Something a bit different, but obviously a lot better than the last time. Like he's got to sort of get back on the right sort of upward trajectory. But I'd be worried if he.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like the Poirier we see now can beat the first McGregor that walks into the octagon against him. Obviously, back then Poirier wasn't the man he is now. So asking Conor McGregor to go back to be like that could be dangerous.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. Poirier showed a tremendous amount of mental strength and growth from just not letting it get in him. I remember I watched because it was on Fight Island, the second fight, and I watched a interview where he just sat down. He's got his hot sauce. He just sat there, and he was just. When I say it was like this man didn't have a fight, it's like he didn't have a fight coming up. Yeah. And I was thinking to myself, you know what? That's the level of relaxation I like to get up to before my fights, because then you're in the right place. You're in a very good place, and that's what now. I haven't personally. I can't really speak on McGregor and the actual what's the word, press conferences or anything like that. Because I haven't seen any. I haven't actually seen any. I saw maybe a clip where someone was asking McGregor a question and it just didn't come in. But I haven't seen anything else. I haven't seen any trash talking. I haven't seen any of it. So I can't actually speak on what's going on.
I did the pre-fight press conference last night, and I can say he's back to smack talking. I was looking at him through beady eyes. Though I was asking myself, are you trying too hard to be someone you no longer are? But I couldn't quite figure it out. But it certainly looked like Conor of old. It certainly looked like it. Only the fight night will tell whether it actually is or a better version. I would hope, But
like I said, aesthetically, we know what they're both about. We know their improvements. We know what they've gotten better. I think it's all now mental. It's a mental battle now. It's they both got demons. I don't want to say. Because this is the thing, they both have something to prove. I know Poirier won the last fight convincingly. Realistically, you can say, "Oh, I've got no pressure on me. I've got nothing to prove." But if Poirier loses, if he gets pieced up, okay, that's trilogy. You've lost 2 out of 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you've lost 2 out of 3, and your last one will be called a fluke. Because you know what they're gonna say. They're gonna say, "Oh, McGregor, he weren't really up for it. He weren't really hungry. You know what I mean?" And they'll say, "People, they'll say it. They'll say it." So he's got something to prove. McGregor has something to prove. The way he got done in that fight, memes came out in like minutes.
He didn't have a chance.
He did not have a chance. I think I might have blinked. I blinked and refreshed Twitter, and there was memes everywhere. I was like, "Oh,
there he is there against the fence, sleeping."
I think they both have a tremendous amount to prove, and again, it's not really. There's nothing aesthetically, nothing skill wise. It's we know what they're both about. Yeah. We know what they both can do, and we've seen them do it to each other. Yeah. We've seen them grow. We've seen them get better. We've seen them become champions, and now it's a good place. It's a good place. It's a good time to be having this. We see where Conor is mentally at. We'll see where Dustin's gone on from here, and it's just. I think it's a really, it's good. Yeah. It's really good.
I agree.
It's really good to see. I'm excited.
It's going to be an absolute barn burner of an event. Hi everyone, I've got some good comments coming through. Some good people lining up the chats saying hello and all sorts. Ashley Easton's there, got Sophie there as well, and Chelsea as well. So hi to everyone there in the chats. Thanks for commenting in. If you want to add some comments, feel free to just blow up the chats, but also click the link just there, a couple of chats up, sent from Against the Fence, and you can jump into the Zoom waiting room, and we'll be able to permit you onto the channel as well. So get your thoughts on this main event as it unfolds. But look, let's get down into the card. Let's have a look where the advantages lie for each of these guys, right? So reach advantage, that goes to Conor. I mean, you've seen his arms. They're of another nature. They're long.
Yeah.
You know,
I think with that, you know, you say, you know, his arms. You know, he has such a wide stance. Which he, you know, he's got really good feet. I think he's actually better with his feet. Comes in, spinning back kicks. You know, all things like I think he would do better with his kicks, because the thing I worry about is that lead hand. He loves that right uppercut.
Yes.
And he loves that backhand uppercut, southpaw uppercut, and he loves that straight backhand.
Yeah.
But the thing is, where his stance is so wide, he, like I said earlier, he leans over himself a lot, so he actually doesn't utilize that reach too much. So if anything, he'd be probably better off going with his feet, in my opinion, with this.
Yeah.
He'd be better going with his feet, switching it up from legs to head.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Maybe chuck a couple of question mark kicks in there.
Yeah, he wants to be far more animated with that front leg. The more it sits there not being used, then it's going to get pieced up by Poirier. And you just need to get 3. Have you ever taken a leg kick? I mean, I've been dying to ask.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you have?
Yeah. Oh, I sparred, what's her name? Burmese sparring for Nicola Bark. She's like been left way, 2-time left way champion, Taekwondo world champion. Oh, you name it, she's won it all. If there was kicking, she's done it. If you looked up kicking in the dictionary, the girl's face is there. Yeah. Anyway, so we're messing around.
What did you do?
Listen, I've done this before. I ain't doing anything. So what's happened is Duncan was like, I want to, you know, get back into training. We need, can I get some? And he was like, can we get some work? I could do with some like sharpening my head and my hands up, like sharpening my head movement and my hands. Obviously, your boxer, it'd be great to spar you. Wicked. You know what? I know someone who can get you. You know, you've got an English champion with his hands. Right. You've got a world champion with her legs. Let's get sparring. You can't ask for any better, surely. Right. So they got him in, and we rotated. We used to be rotated rounds. So I'd do, I think 2, and we rotate. Duncan would do 2, and then we rotate. You know, everyone rotated. I remember I was like moving around the motions. I was thinking, well, I know I've got better hands than her. I know I have. So let me just kind of try and step in here. But stepping in, I'm not used to taking leg kicks. So when I step in, I step in. I have no concept of I'm about to get hit in the legs. I step in with the thought of I'm going to get hit in the head. So and then just, you know, I've stepped in. I still see it, and all I feel was my legs just go numb. All I could feel was 3 or 4 leg kicks, and I was like, oh, I've heard horror stories. They hurt a lot. You know what? Yeah, when they're just right, like half kicks, when they're just right, you know about it, and you don't want another one. It changes your whole game plan. Changes your whole game plan.
See, I've never
changes your whole game.
The closest I can say I've gotten is 2 days ago. I did leg day at the gym, and I'm really feeling it now. I mean, I don't know. Am I comparing like kicking the balls to like pregnancy for a girl here? Like, is this like is this
listen? Okay, just to settle that debate, getting kicked in the balls is actually a higher threshold. Pregnancy is actually just longer. That's scientifically proven.
Open up a whole can of worms here.
Scientifically proven. Scientifically proven.
We've got some girls here in the chat. I don't know if they would want to agree with that, but
listen. Listen. Facts ain't meant to be your friend. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I will say this though. Would you get kicked in the balls again?
No, I will not.
Guarantee you, a lot of women would say they'll have another kid though. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We'll
leave it there.
We'll move on swiftly.
Leave it at that. All right. So
okay, just for context, I'm playing. I love to wind people up. Anyone knows me on my Instagram.
I've seen your Instagram.
I love to wind people up.
It's brilliant.
I just like to wind people up.
I want to pull down.
Don't take it personally.
I want to pull down one of your Instagram questions a bit later and ask you that. Because I mean, they had me creasing. I couldn't finish it. I got some really. I couldn't finish it. I'm answering for him, right? Would you rather? I'm like, I can't answer it.
No. I can guarantee you didn't answer 2. I know 2 you didn't answer.
Oh yeah.
But anyway.
I mean, that was
swiftly moving on.
They're
too much.
Yeah. Too much. When you was like, do you want to turn it? Shall I turn it up another notch? And I'm like, already. I mean, I found this quite sweat watering, like. You know? So look, next one up here on the card, we're looking at significant strikes. Now these guys are pretty equally squared up here. So significant strikes, 49% apiece. These guys are pretty much 50-50, and we knew that coming into this fight anyway. I mean, Conor McGregor knocks him out early on round 1. He knocks McGregor out early on round 2, and it's like, you know, 50-50. We understand now this is now everything to play for, and that's really exciting here in the combat sport, because, you know, styles make fights, and you know, you can always say this person beats this person 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, but the third fight is always to find out who's a better fighter, and I feel like that's just so much drive there. And looking at these stats, these guys just come in together so equally paired here, like 50-50. It's gonna be an absolute barn burner. I can't wait for it. I really can't.
Yeah, 100%. They're incredibly evenly matched. The numbers, you can't really. It's so fine. It's so little to actually pull them apart here. But yeah, I think it's a genuine 50-50 again. And like I said, I don't think this has anything to do with numbers, or aesthetic, or, you know, style, or this and that. It's just who wants it that bit more, who wants it that little bit more. They both have a point to prove. They both have all the incentive. They have the financial incentive. They have pride. They have the last laugh. They have the trilogy. They have the chance to go down in, do you know what I mean, in UFC history. Like, you know, it's all there. It's all there. Yeah. So it's one of those fights as well where it's more than just skill now. There's a little bit more involved. There's a little bit more at stake here.
Yeah. No, 100%. I agree with that. And yeah, this is just, you know, for Conor, this isn't about money. You know, it's not about money at all. And Poirier, I know he said he wants to make money for his family and everything as well, but I just feel like there's something runs far deeper here between these guys. And yeah, look, I'm just really excited to all sort of come out tomorrow. Who do you think is going to take it? You know, of course, we had some opinions from everyone else. A lot of people were saying, largely, if I was to summarize some of those videos, we caught at the front end of this, you know, later rounds, Poirier takes it. Early rounds, Conor does the job. He puts them to sleep. Now, personally, I would love to see something go past round 3 with these two, just because we've never seen it get out of round 2 with these guys. You know, I don't care who wins. If we're in like round 3, round 4, and they're still going at it back on the forwards, I don't care who wins. I'll be satisfied. But what about you? Who do you think takes this one?
Yeah, like you said, I think I'm going to give a very political answer and actually give 3 answers. So, you know, Poirier takes the late rounds. McGregor gets him early, and I personally want it to go long. And you know what would say? I wouldn't be surprised if it went on. And you can't even I wouldn't be surprised if it went on and it was a draw.
Oh, mate. I mean, we did mention if that potentially happened. Of course, you got Dana White just like money.
That's 3 answers.
Money.
3 answers I gave you.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
A 4th one.
McGregor Poirier 4.
Oh, do you know what? The closer the event gets, I just feel more and more sick, you know, just thinking about the outcomes. But, you know.
Yeah. You know what? You find yourself changing your mind a lot as well. You find yourself changing your mind a lot. And you're like, oh, you know what? Yeah, McGregor wins it because, you know, in that first round, if he catches you, he goes through you, like, you know what I mean? Like, and then you think, yeah, but if he gets past that first round, muscle memory says the last time I fought this man, he put me out in this round. You know what I mean? Like then it's just, it makes you think, and then the build up, and then how McGregor's being or not being, or you know what I mean? It just starts getting a bit. It happens. It happens to all of us. It happens to all of us.
Yeah, look, this is it.
I genuinely, I remember when, I don't even want to talk about it, but when McGregor fought Mayweather, I was always on the standpoint that listen to me. You cannot tell me that somebody that's never had a professional. I know he's had combat experience, and he's actually very, very good with his hands. Unbelievably good with his hands. You cannot tell me that he is going to get in the ring and fight the best boxer of this generation and win. Yeah. I will not let that happen. But I found myself being talked into it. I found myself thinking to myself, Conor actually has a chance here. He actually has a chance. And I'm sitting there, and I'm boxing myself. I'm thinking, no, I don't know, but don't get sucked into this. So I understand where it's coming from, and it's like, it's a hard one. It's a very hard one.
Yeah, I get that as well.
Let's chat this in there anyway. Did you see Leon Edwards and Diaz?
Yes. Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah. He was unreal, man. He's another one I like watching because his striking is
UFC 262, wasn't it? Last pay-per-view event.
Yeah, but his striking is just razor sharp.
Leon Edwards is clean. He's a great boxer.
It's clean.
It is.
He's clean. He
finds the market. He hits.
Yeah.
And Diaz is messy. He's sloppy, but he's got that wild animosity in his game.
Do you know what? As well? I know we're just touching on it, but do you know what as well? Because you know what happened. Obviously, unfortunately for Leon, but at the same time, fortunately for him, all that everyone talked about was the fact that he got wobbled bad and Diaz didn't stick it on.
Yeah.
But in boxing and with him, what I've noticed is nobody's trying to fight. Nobody wants to fight him. He's not getting the opportunity. Nobody wants to fight him. And one rule in boxing is when they only want you, when they see
he'll fight anyone.
Yeah. And the one rule in boxing is when they only want you, they only want to fight you when they see weakness. So I think now that he's been hurt or whatever, and you've visibly seen it, he will get the opportunities, and I want that for him. Yeah. It'll be really good for him.
I mean,
you know what I mean, he's a good talent. I'd hate to see him just not get fights.
He's got a steady footing up the division, isn't he? He's doing really well.
100%.
I do have a bone to pick about that particular moment as well, because it's like he got caught once. He got one really good shot in when he done a clean look on you over the full 5 rounds. And mate,
you spent
you know.
Yeah, you spent what? 24 minutes. You spent 24 minutes getting pieced up, and you caught him for a minute, and that's all they showed. Do you know what I mean?
It did look good. It looked good, and even I was in my seat just going, Diaz. Exactly.
But you know what? The thing is, I think that works for him because now that people think, he can be hurt. He can be, he's got weakness there. Fights might come for him. I think that's actually a good thing to happen. But I just wanted to put a lot of people talk about that fight for the wrong reason. I wanted to put it out there and go, you know what? He was clinical. He was unreal, and he got wobbled, but that's actually going to be better for him, to be honest, because now he can get big opportunities.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess back to the main event here at hand. Of course, I mean these are 2 knockout artists, much like the others in this really stacked and talented division. But personally, we're going to have to wait until the night before I'm certain on who my pick is going to be, because it's going to largely be about mentality. If McGregor's in the right place, he can do it. And I've been talked into thinking McGregor's going to get the job done, although on paper and, early on when first looking at tapes and breaking down these fights, I thought it was going to be Poirier to do it. But the closer we get to the event, the more I'm liking McGregor for it. Just because, he's when he gets in his stride and his element, then he's really something.
Yeah.
And I read something earlier before. He's actually avenged all of his losses and defeated them. So he has lost, but he just comes back and he gets the job done. He's someone who can be that driven, that determined to get the win, or just to get the win back if he loses it. And I think that is what's selling it for me. Not the other fighters want to make bank, they want to earn, they want to make big money. But for him, they've done that. They've done that. He doesn't have to. He can just drop that the money.
Yeah, but this is what makes this fight good, because they've done that. They've done all the stuff before. They've done the aesthetic stuff. They've shown their styles. They've shown what they're about. They've They've shown it all. Now it's just you strip everything away from the men and show me who they are. Yes. Show me who you are, both of you. You know what I mean? That's what makes it. Yeah, what makes it. That's what makes it juicy. That's what makes this fight unbelievable.
Yeah. That's what I love about trilogies, man. Wow.
Yeah. Right. I love a good trilogy. All
right, so
we don't see a lot of it in boxing anymore, but I love a good trilogy.
Yeah, I guess you don't, do you?
Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of it in boxing, a lot of people don't fight each other early. A lot of good fighters, a lot of good prospects, and they don't fight each other early. So you don't really get to see a lot of trilogies.
That's it. All right, guys. Well, look, if you got any other comments, drop them in the comments below. Who have you got for these fights? Who do you think is going to be taking each of these fights as they unfold? We'll be giving full coverage of this with our watch along on the Saturday night. So we'll be breaking it down in more detail, what each fight needs to be doing to get the win. And, we've looked at the stats and statistics, statistically, where it all sort of, it's a big word, man. It's a big word. We looked at the stats. That's why they have stats. And even the UFC recognize its stats. But so statistically, we broke it down. And of course, you can see where the divides are. But ultimately, on the night. It's going to be a little bit different in terms of what the more information that we can provide on styles and how the fight's going to be unfolded as well. So make sure you're there. That is UFC 264 watch along at the ATF channel. If you haven't liked and subscribed already, go and do that. And of course, you won't miss a beat on all the content that we have coming out here and thereafter. I believe next week we also have another interview with, and this is a pretty cool surprise. But it is the Baltic Gladiator. So it's from the UFC. He's going to be on the channel at ATF as well with an exclusive hot interview with some comments, of course, post the fight. See what his thoughts are. But let's get into a little bit about him as a UFC fighter, what it all means, what it was like for him as well. So yeah, do tune in for all that good stuff yet to come. But I guess that calls it for us now, Linus. I think we've exhausted these people's time and we've gone through the card from start to stop. And I'm really excited for it. Not much more to leave it on.
Yeah, no, I think that was good. I think that was perfect. I think we've gone through the card quite well, and I think it's just now I'm just really excited. I want it to kind of want to stay up and just like, can we just fight now? Can we fight now? Can I turn around? I mean,
I'm coming over. Let's go 3 rounds.
Oh, don't. Have you ever done on your channel? I don't know. I don't want to have you ever done like a live? Like you're watching it and your reaction with someone else.
Yeah, we don't sort of reactions and live reactions, absolutely, and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, after the cameras go off, me and Jordan are like we're sparring. we're putting hands down. Yeah, exactly. I mean, no matter what time in the morning, we have enough coffee inside us with juice ready to go. But let's draw a line under it there. Look, thanks all for coming. Enjoy the content, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you tomorrow for UFC 264. Thanks for joining.